Let's talk about adding some spice to our essays with the introduction and conclusion paragraphs. These paragraphs are important because you need to be able to immediately engage your reader at the beginning and then leave them with something to think about at the end. There are three parts you can think about in order to create a spicy introduction paragraph: the hook, the background, and the thesis statement. Remember that you can apply this information to any essay type, but for this example, we will use an argumentative essay. For this essay topic, let's say the prompt is to write an argumentative essay convincing your readers that the United States should or should not allow refugees. Remember, this is just an example. Let's look at step 1, writing the hook. The hook is meant to grab or engage your reader in the topic in 2 to 3 sentences. Remember that the goal here is to maybe even shock your readers into wanting to know more. For the example topic on refugees, a hook that shocks readers might be something like this. Imagine living in a country where there are no rights, no running water, and no source of food. Many immigrants will cross dangerous deserts, deep waters, and predatory animals just to come to America. Americans need to consider what lengths they would go to save their own families if the roles were reversed. This hook brings up some harsh things that people don't want to think about, so readers will be engaged in the topic. Step 2 for writing the introduction is to provide background knowledge about your topic. Now, this could be historical background or current event background information. You don't have to get too deep, but you want your reader to have a little knowledge on your topic before getting into the evidence. For our example essay topic on refugees, if you're writing about refugees from different places, you might provide information on why they are trying to leave their countries. Example background information should be around 3 to 4 sentences and might be something like this for our example topic. Many people who come to America are coming in order to seek a better life. People in Mexico might be seeking refuge away from the drug cartel. People in Africa might be looking for better financial opportunities, and people in the Middle East might be looking for religious refuge. They often spend hundreds to thousands of dollars in order to make sure their families have a better life. For step 3 of the introduction paragraph, you'll end with your thesis statement. Remember that your thesis statement is one sentence revealing what your essay is about. The thesis statement you write will depend on the type of essay you're writing. You can review the thesis statement video for examples and how to write different thesis statements. An example for our topic on refugees might be something like this. People who cross the border illegally should be allowed refuge in a safe country due to the hardships they flee from. Since this is an argumentative essay, we are stating our position and what the essay will work to prove. Now, let's put all of our steps that we worked on together into an introduction paragraph. You can see that the hook is in green, the background information is in orange, and the thesis statement is black. Take a minute to read this introduction paragraph and see how it works together to spice up the essay before the body paragraphs even begin. With our introduction paragraph complete, we can work on our conclusion paragraph. The conclusion paragraph has 4 parts. Write the thesis in a new way. Write the topic sentences in a new way. Answer, "So what?" Or, "Why does it matter?" And add a clincher. Let's go through each of these steps with examples. We're going to stick with the same essay topic for our example since that's what we wrote our introduction on, and we want to be able to see how they bookend each other. The first step for the conclusion paragraph is to write your thesis in a new way. This might sound funny, but you want the same idea as your thesis without repeating yourself. Our original thesis for the introduction was, people who cross the border illegally should be allowed refuge in a safe country due to the hardships they flee from. We can adjust this to our restated thesis that looks like this. Overall, finding refuge in a new country can save many families from a variety of dangers in their home countries. Notice how they essentially say the same thing but in completely different words, so we aren't repeating ourselves. Remember never to use in conclusion, to sum up, to summarize, or anything like that to start off your conclusion paragraph. Your reader already knows this is the end, so they don't need a signpost. Step 2 for the conclusion paragraph is to review your main points or topic sentences without repeating. Again, this might sound odd, but you will do the same thing that you did with the thesis. Let's say our topic sentences for our example essay are refugees from Mexico for body paragraph 1, refugees from the Middle East for body paragraph 2, and refugees from Uganda for paragraph 3. Now, in an essay, you will have actual topic sentences for each of these topics. Then, you will combine them into a review of what you covered. In our example, we have the following. The dangers that find families can be potentially inescapable. However, if America could allow these families from Mexico, from the Middle East, and from Uganda to build a new life in America, they could bring many skills and experiences to this country. Notice how we cover the focus of each body paragraph without repeating our topic sentences specifically. For step 3 of the conclusion paragraph, we want to explain the "so what?" or "why does it matter?" that our readers might wonder about. Think about answering in 3 to 4 sentences one or more of the following questions. Does it raise new questions for future study? Does it lead to practical suggestions or predictions? Can it be connected to a broader debate or theme? This is where you can get really creative and promote your point or topic as passionately as you want to. For our example essay, we might write the following paragraph. Children do not choose where they are born or where their families live, so blocking people from entering America is unfair. The United States is already a melting pot of different cultures and different people. Allowing more diversity only increases growth for everyone. All countries would benefit from studying the positives of allowing refugees to create new lives in a new place. Note that this explains why the issue is important. For the last step of writing our conclusion paragraph, we need to add a clincher. This will be one sentence that wraps everything up and really leaves an impact on the reader. You want them to remember what they just read and think it is as important as you do, no matter what kind of essay you're writing. An example clincher for our example essay might be something like the following. Without more freedom for refugees to find a safe home, multiple innocent men, women, and children will lose their lives at the hands of injustice. Remember, the goal of this essay was to persuade the audience to agree with the essay's opinions, so it's important to leave them in their feels. Now, when we put each part together, we have a full conclusion paragraph that should impact the reader in some way. Each step is in a different color in the conclusion paragraph here, so you can see how everything came together. Take a minute to read through the conclusion paragraph and notice the way each piece works to make the reader care about the topic. Make sure to use all of these steps for your introduction and conclusion paragraphs to spice up your essay. Remember that even though it seems weird, you want to always write your introduction and conclusion last. You write them last because you've done the research to have enough facts to get creative with your own thoughts. So be creative. This is your chance to engage the reader with the importance of your information. Now, go spice up that sauce.